Hi and welcome to Imperial Luxury. As we know that weapons are important for each country needs a few weapons to shield their country. The creation of military weapons tends to involve a fair amount of expertise and experience. Government budget proposals don't exactly make for the most scintillating reading. Still, they're one of the best ways to gain insight into a nation's priorities. After all, the way you spend your money says a lot. Some countries spend a hell of a lot of amount on its weaponry department. Some weapons are so expensive that their each strike and shot cost you thousands of dollars. Sometimes it is not easy to handle and fight with these weapons because there's always a risk of losing these expensive weapons in war. Many countries have advanced military weapons that cost millions if not billions of dollars, which is why they are available to such a small number of military units in such small numbers. In the future, it seems probable that their price tags will rise higher still. Today we are going to tell you about the most expensive weapons ever built by some countries. Trident II Missile with price per unit $65.7 million. The Navy's Trident Missile submarine has become the most expensive weapons program in the history of warfare, according to the Pentagon's latest estimates. It is the latest model of the Navy's ballistic missiles. Equipped with a thermonuclear warhead, the Trident II is carried by most Ohio Class submarines, as well as some British vessels. The four horsemen of Trident, Vanguard, Victorious, Vigilant, and Vengeance, take it in turn to provide a continuous patrol of the world's oceans, wielding a cargo of up to 16 Trident ballistic missiles. The missile is 44 feet long and weighs 80 tons. It can move up to 13,000 miles per hour. It has never been used, and assuming that things go well, it will never be used because it is armed with nuclear warheads. The British Trident IIs are reported to carry on average of 3 100-kiloton warheads. Their destructive power is estimated as the equivalent of 8 Hiroshimas. It is very expensive and all countries cannot afford it for their wars. 14 of the largest ever submarines will cost $25.1 billion, or more than the B-1 bomber program which President Carter cancelled partly because of its cost. FA-18EF Super Hornets with price per unit $90.8 million. The Boeing FA-18EF Super Hornet fighter aircraft is a modernized version of the heavily utilized FA-18 Hornet. The plane, which comes in a single-seat and two-seat version, is primarily used by the Navy and stationed on aircraft carriers. Each Super Hornet comes with 20mm gun that is meant to be seen use in emergencies. This Super Hornet has a full arsenal encompassing air-to-air missiles, air-to-ground missiles, and even laser-guided bombs. The Navy has been scaffolding improvements on Boeing's Super Hornet production line in St. Louis over the past 3 decades. The latest iteration is the FA-18EF Super Hornet Block 3. The most visible change in the Block 3 is the addition of conformal fuel tanks and advanced networking capabilities. These upgradations increase its price to more hundreds of millions of dollars. It is mainly an aircraft carrier. It is made to be used for long term, and these type of powerful jets cannot be made in short spans of time. It's fair to say that the FA-18 is a badass because history and circumstances have forced it to be. It may not have always been the most highly desired option, but it has been the go-to tool for almost every job. But it's really not affordable for many countries. F-35 Lightning II with price per unit $109.5 million. The F-35 Lightning II is one of a growing global fleet of advanced stealth aircraft sold to US allies, and the first to be assembled in Japan. Its main advantages, according to its manufacturer, Lockheed Martin, are being nearly impossible to track with radar and being packed with advanced sensors and other gear. It is still in the state of development, but it is made to perform many important functions and roles as well. It is made with the latest technology and sensor system, so that it can also break the sound of air. Until now, 3 versions of this jet are introduced into the world. The F-35A will use standard takeoff and landing, and will be used primarily by the Air Force. The F-35B will have short takeoffs and vertical landings, and be used by the Marines. The F-35C will be able to take off and land on carriers. The F-35, the crown jewel in the defense giant's portfolio, has become one of the most challenged programs in the history of the Department of Defense. In 2012, the Pentagon estimated the lifetime cost of the F-35 at more than $1.5 trillion over 50 years, by far the most expensive aircraft program in US history. DDG-51 destroyer with price per unit $1,299.3 million. The Greyhounds of the Sea are warships that have both offensive and defensive capabilities in a variety of missions and operate both in carrier groups and independently like other destroyers. It is small but fast and maneuverable warship intended to protect bigger ships from short-range attackers. But it is interesting in that it makes extensive use of guided missiles. The DDG-51, also known as the Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, has been in service since 1991. Each warship is more than 500 feet. The destroyer is produced by a large group of contractors, including Bath Iron Works, General Dynamics, and Northrop Grumman. By now, there are roughly 60 in active service. It is a very famous and advanced submarine, and is latest as well. About 80% orders of this are already delivered to countries. The Navy's frontline combatants, cruisers and destroyers, are incredibly expensive to upgrade. When the Navy put Baseline 9 on the cruiser Normandy a few years ago, which included all new consoles, displays, and computer servers in addition to the software, it ran the service $188 million. So it is a big price for many countries, even for its upgradation. Virginia Class Submarine with price per unit $2,552.6 million. The U.S. Navy's next attack submarine could share the dimensions of the new Columbia-class ballistic missile submarine, meaning it would be huge and probably very, very expensive. The Virginia-class submarines are arguably the most advanced nuclear subs in the world. The Virginia is 377 feet long and weighs 7,800 tons, or the equivalent of 821 school buses. The Virginia-class ships are the latest in attack submarines. Innovations like fly-by-wire ship control system, a reconfigurable torpedo room, and a large lock-in lock-out chamber for divers make it a superior submarine. It comes with a wide range of weapons, which also include Tomahawk missiles. It is very advanced and has almost 38 different types of weapons in it, which are also very latest and with the new features, which are also very expensive. Designed to address the threat of Soviet ballistic missile submarine and to replace the aging Los Angeles class of submarines, the Virginia has been described as the best of the best. These submarines are already in the oceans, and their number is almost 8. The price of this huge submarine is $83.7 billion, which is very difficult to afford by every country. It is destined to be a true multi-mission submarine, with the strike capability and the ability to deliver large-diameter unmanned underwater vehicles in addition to the more traditional surveillance mission. On top of the list is aircraft carrier CVN-78 with the huge price of $13 billion. The nuclear-powered aircraft carrier CVN-78, the lead-off vessel of the U.S. Navy's latest class of carriers, and is the most expensive warship in U.S. history. The naval behemoth can house more than 4,500 people and weighs 90,000 tons. It is considered as the most expensive, each piece of weapon which is used by military ever made in the world, as it cost about $9.8 billion for a single one. It takes about 3 years to complete the order of these planes and deliver them to the country. It is commonly called a Sea Sparrow. As expected, the CVN-78 has impressive power. The ship is powered by 2 Bechtel A1B nuclear reactors, each capable of producing 300 megawatts of electricity. With great power comes great firepower. Only half of the power generating capability on the CV9-78 is needed to run currently planned systems, including EMALs. Given its name, it should come as no surprise to learn that this is the aircraft carrier of the future, with each one measuring around 4.5 acres and weighing more than 100,000 tons. With the rapid growth of futuristic technologies, in past few years, weapon makers have strived to make more proficient and capable weapons, particularly for the armed forces of their country. Really, some are hell expensive. If you like our list, tell us in the comments, and must subscribe to our channel Imperial Luxury for more interesting videos like this.